Hey everyone. Before we dive into today's story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what time it is there. It really helps YouTube recommend more stories like this one to you. All right, let's jump right in.
The first time I saw him, he waved, not a threatening wave. Not frantic, just slow and stiff, like a puppet going through the motions. It was past 1 a.m. And I was standing outside this old 2-story house with a bag of cold Chinese takeout sweating through my gloves. Wind cut through the trees behind me, dry leaves skittering across the cracked pavement. The house was dark, no porch light, no sounds. Just my footsteps, my breath, and the soft plastic crinkle of the delivery bag. And then I saw him in the upstairs window, right above the porch. He didn't move like a person. His arm rose too straight, paused in midair, and just hovered there, waving. Not side to side, just up and down, like he was trying to remember how to do it. I waved back. I don't know why. I wasn't even scared yet. It was late, I was tired, and creepy customers weren't new. I'd been doing food delivery full-time for almost a year. Once you've dropped off sushi to a guy wearing only clown makeup and a belt, you stop questioning weird. But when I got closer, I noticed something that froze my gut. There was no light on upstairs. No lamp, no backlight glow from a phone screen. The window was pitch black. And yet, I'd seen him clearly, his face, his expressionless stare. That stiff, robotic wave, like the shadows had parted just enough to show me what I wasn't supposed to see. The delivery instructions were strange too. Leave food on porch. Do not knock. Do not ring. No contact. That wasn't unusual in itself. Lots of people didn't want to talk. But the do not knock part stuck with me. Like they were warning me. I placed the bag carefully by the doormat and turned to leave. My car was parked across the street under a flickering street lamp. Every step I took, I felt something in the back of my neck, the kind of tight, crawling pressure you get when someone's watching. I didn't turn around. Not until I reached my door. When I looked back, the upstairs window was empty. I didn't think much about it until the next night. New order. New name, new address. Except, it was the same house. I thought maybe the app glitched, so I triple-checked. Different account. Different restaurant. Different notes. Please leave food on porch. Do not ring or knock. Tip under plant pot. The weird part? That second order came from a woman's name this time. But the food was the same combo as last night. Exact same. Orange chicken, egg rolls, Diet Coke. I drove slower that time. Something about that house made my hands sweat on the wheel. When I pulled up, the porch light was on now. Dim, yellow buzzing, and he was there again. Not in the upstairs window this time. He was standing behind the front door. I could see him through the thin pane of foggy glass. He didn't move. Just stood there as if he'd been waiting. I should have left. Every instinct in me said, get back in the car, file a no-contact report, and never return. I wanted the tip. I was behind on rent. I'd been skipping lunch just to make deliveries faster. And something about this house, this customer, it wasn't screaming danger. It was more like curiosity. A wrongness I couldn't explain. I placed the bag down, and the second I stepped back, the door handle turned. It opened 2 inches. Just a crack. Just enough to let a dry whisper come through. Thank you. I didn't see him open the door. It was like the air shifted, and suddenly it was ajar. I never saw a hand. Never saw his face again. Just that voice. A whisper like dry leaves sliding across wood. I backed away. Fast. And just as I reached the sidewalk, I glanced up and saw myself in the upstairs window. Except it wasn't me. Same jacket. Same beanie. Same bag slung across the shoulder. But the figure in the window wasn't moving. just standing completely still, watching me. And I swear to God, its face was blank. No eyes, no mouth, no expression. Just skin. I didn't sleep that night. I kept the lights on and my curtains drawn, half convinced I'd wake up to see him outside my own window. But morning came like normal. Sunlight, sirens in the distance, my neighbor's dog barking at squirrels. It felt ridiculous in daylight. Just exhaustion, stress, right? I reported the account through the app, marked the address as suspicious, flagged for safety, but they never replied. It got worse on the third night. No delivery order this time. Just a notification, new contactless tip available. I tapped it, curious. It was linked to a pending order from an unlisted address. Guess where the pin dropped? Same street, same house, except this time, the map didn't show a house at all. Just a blank gray lot. I drove there anyway. I don't know why. I think part of me needed closure, like maybe I'd imagined it, and seeing the house wasn't even there would snap me out of it. But when I arrived, the house was there. Just like before. Lights off. Porch empty. No car in the driveway. Except for one thing. There was a mirror leaning against the front door. A full-length standing mirror, the kind you find in dressing rooms. And in the reflection, I saw him. He was standing right behind me, but when I spun around, nothing. Empty porch. I stared back into the mirror, heart slamming in my chest, and in that reflection, he smiled, not my smile. His mouth was too wide. Too many teeth. Eyes too still. Like his face was trying to imitate mine, but couldn't quite get it right. He raised a hand and waved. I should have run. I should have turned around, gotten in my car, and left that street forever. But I didn't. I just stood there, frozen, staring into that mirror like it had teeth, because the thing in it wasn't mimicking me anymore. It wasn't me. It had my clothes, my posture, even the tired slump in my shoulders. But the way it moved, it was like it didn't understand how a body works. Like a puppet learning how to be human. And its smile, it didn't stop, wide and wrong. Like it was trying to show me something. I backed down the porch steps, one at a time. My shoes scraped against the cold wood, heart slamming so hard I felt it in my throat. I couldn't stop looking at the mirror. And then the reflection changed. Now, I was on the porch in the mirror, standing where it was, and the thing was on the sidewalk. Where I was, like it had swapped places. I turned to look behind me. Nothing. Empty sidewalk. Quiet street. Just the flicker of that dying street lamp and the cold whine of wind. But the second I looked back at the mirror, the thing was gone. Just an empty porch. And then the mirror fell forward and shattered. Glass hit the concrete like a scream. That's when I ran. I sprinted to my car, shaking hands, fumbling with the keys. I got in, locked the doors, peeled out so fast I nearly clipped a trash can. I didn't stop until I was 20 blocks away, parked outside a 7-Eleven with the engine still running and my hands trembling. On the steering wheel, I sat there until the sun started rising, and when I checked the app again, the notification was gone. No tip, no order, no record of me ever going there. The next few days, I didn't work, didn't sleep much either. I kept seeing my reflection move when I wasn't. In the microwave door, the rear view mirror, my bathroom at night. Just for a second, just enough to make me question if I'd really seen it. But I knew something had followed me. On the fourth night, my phone buzzed again. 113 No number. Just a message, delivery incomplete. Come back. I stared at it until the screen dimmed. I turned my phone off, threw it across the room, tried to convince myself it was a glitch. Maybe I was just overtired. Maybe I was losing it. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was waiting for me. That if I looked in any reflective surface long enough, It would look back. I didn't open my curtains the next day. Didn't leave the apartment. When I finally slept, I dreamed I was trapped behind glass, pounding and screaming, watching me walk around and live my life. Except it wasn't me. It was him, wearing my face. My voice, smiling when he answered my door, laughing when he picked up my phone, living like I didn't exist anymore. When I woke up, the mirrors were all covered. I swear I didn't do it. Every reflective surface in my apartment. Bathroom mirror, microwave. Even the black screen of my TV was draped with sheets, towels, anything that could cover glass. My front door was unlocked. There was a bag of food sitting in the entryway. Chinese, orange chicken, egg rolls, Diet Coke, the exact same order, and a receipt tucked inside the bag. Not from any restaurant, but from my own delivery history. From that house. My name listed under delivered by. Except the driver photo was him. Smiling. I screamed, ran to the bathroom, yanked down the towel covering the mirror, and for the first few seconds, it was just me, pale, sweating, eyes wide and bloodshot. But then I blinked, and he was there, standing behind me. In the reflection only, he leaned in close, just over my shoulder. I could feel the heat of a breath that wasn't mine. He whispered something. I'll never forget it. You left the door open. I smashed the mirror with my elbow. Glass rained into the sink. My skin tore open in 3 places, but I didn't care. I couldn't live with any reflection anymore. Not even my own. I covered everything. Tossed every mirror, every glossy surface. I don't even turn my phone screen on at night. That was 2 weeks ago. I've been sleeping in short bursts, locking my door 3 times, keeping every window blacked out. No screens, no glass, no light. But it's not enough. Because this morning, I heard a knock. Soft, polite. And when I opened the door, there was no one there. Just a small box, inside, a mirror, wrapped in cloth. No note. I haven't opened it. I won't. But I know, somehow I know, that if I do, he'll be there, waiting. Smiling. Ready to come back. I knew something was wrong the second I stepped into the hallway. It was dead quiet. No TVs, no doors creaking, no music bleeding through thin walls. Just that stale, old building smell and the low hum of broken fluorescent lights. I've done deliveries in sketchy apartments before, but this one felt off, too quiet. Like the whole place was waiting for something. The address was clear, Red Pine Towers, Apartment 6B, Chinese food. Late night. Big tip, I took the elevator up to the 6th floor. It groaned the whole ride, shaking like it might fall apart mid-climb. When the doors finally opened, I stepped into a hallway that looked, and I'm not exaggerating, abandoned. Paint peeling off the walls, lights flickering overhead. The carpet stained and torn like it hadn't been cleaned in years. Still, I walked down to the end of the hall where 6B should have been. There was a door. A plain black door. No number. Just chipped paint and a weird lingering heat. Like someone had been blow-drying the doorknob. I looked down at my app again. 6B, leave food at door. Do not knock. I stood there for a second, bag in hand, listening. Nothing. No footsteps. No rustling. No music or TV. I crouched, gently placed the food by the door, and turned to leave. That's when I noticed it. There was number 6A, just 6C and 6D. No door between them. No signs of a removed unit. Just space where something should have been. I turned back around. The black door was gone. Just wall. Blank, ugly wall. I froze. Looked at my app again. The order still showed as active. Still said I was standing at 6B, but the door I had just placed the food in front of wasn't there anymore. I backed up. My heartbeat kicked up in my ears. Then I heard a soft creak. I turned. The door was back, exactly where it had been. Same chipped paint. Same heat radiating from the knob. The food bag was still there, that I stared at it for a few more seconds. Just long enough to convince myself I'd imagined it. And then, just as I turned to go, a whisper came through the door. "You're early." I didn't respond. I couldn't. My mouth went dry. My feet moved without me thinking. I was in the elevator before I even realized it. By the time I reached the lobby, I decided I'd report the order as delivered. I needed to get the hell out of there. That's when the security guard stopped me. "Hey, you just came from upstairs?" "Yeah, 6th floor." He frowned. "There's no one on 6. That floor's been closed for years. Ever since the fire." My stomach dropped. I delivered to 6B. The man stared at me for a long second. Then he said something I'll never forget. 6B burned down. Whole unit. No one made it out. I left without saying another word. Drove until I couldn't see that building in my rearview anymore. My hands were shaking the whole time. Back at home, I checked the app again. The order was gone. No history. No payment. Nothing. It was like it had never existed. Except my earnings had gone up by $66.60. I didn't sleep that night. And the next morning, someone knocked on my door. When I opened it, there was a bag of Chinese food sitting on the floor. With a sticky note that read, "Thanks for coming early." I didn't touch the food. I just stood there in my doorway, staring at that cheap white takeout bag like it was alive. The hallway outside my apartment was dead silent. No footsteps, no elevator ding, nothing. Whoever dropped it off moved fast, or was never really there. I nudged the bag with my foot. Still warm. Too warm. Like it hadn't traveled far at all. I shut the door, locked it, then locked it again. I didn't want to look inside the bag, but I also couldn't just leave it on the floor. So I slid it into a cabinet under my sink and shut it away like I was trapping something. I tried to go to bed after that. I lay there for an hour, staring at my dark ceiling, replaying the guard's words. 6B burned down. No one made it out. My phone buzzed around 3 a.m. No number. Just a message, "You left too soon. Come back." I blocked the sender. Turned my phone off. Put it face down on the table, but I couldn't shake the feeling that someone, or something, had followed me home. The next evening, I decided I needed answers. Maybe the security guard was messing with me. Maybe he wanted to scare some random delivery driver for fun. But the way he said it, the way his face looked, it didn't feel like a joke. So I went back. I parked across the street from Red Pine Towers and just sat there, engine running. The building somehow looked worse than before. Dark windows, chipped balconies, crooked blinds. The kind of place where you assume every neighbor has a story you don't want to hear. The lobby lights were on but dim. Like they were dying. I almost turned around. Almost said screw it, who cares, just go home. But curiosity is a sickness. And I was already infected. I went inside. The security guard from before wasn't there. Just a younger woman scrolling her phone. I approached slowly. "Hey, can I ask about the 6th floor?" She didn't look up. "Closed." "I know, but no access," she snapped, still staring at her screen. "If you go up there, the elevator will bring you right back down." "Why?" That time she looked at me. Her expression was tired and flat, like she'd explained this 1,000 times. "Because it's condemned. There was a fire. 3 people died." Her eyes flicked over my shoulder, like she was looking for something behind me. "And no one goes up there anymore. No one." I asked. She hesitated. Then, softer, "No one living." The elevator opened for me before I pressed a button. I stepped inside. My finger hovered over 6, but I didn't touch it. The doors slid shut on their own. The elevator jolted, groaned, and started rising. I hadn't pressed anything. I felt my stomach drop as the numbers climbed. 3, 4, 5, 6. The doors opened to the same hallway as before, same peeling wallpaper, same dead light overhead, same burned, rotting smell drifting from somewhere deeper inside. But something was different. A single door halfway down the hall was slightly open. No number, no label, just a sliver of orange light leaking out, flickering like fire. The same heat I'd felt before rolled down the hallway, thick and heavy. Like someone had left a furnace open. Part of me wanted to go back into the elevator, leave, never come back. But the door pulled me in. I walked toward it, each step echoing down the empty hall. My shadow stretched ahead of me, warping in the trembling light. I reached the door and pushed it open. Inside was an apartment, or what was left of one. Blackened walls, melted plastic, charred furniture. Everything stank of smoke and damp ash. But the apartment wasn't empty. Someone had cleaned a small patch of floor in the center of the room. A single chair sat there, untouched by soot. On it was a phone, older model. Cracked screen. It lit up as soon as I stepped. Closer. One unread message from a contact labeled 6B. My throat tightened. I tapped it open. You shouldn't have left me. I dropped the phone. It clattered against the floor and slid toward the far wall, the one covered in darker burn marks, as if something had been pressed against it during the fire. Words were scratched into the soot. Messy, desperate. Help me, let me out. I'm still here. Delivery for 6B something. Cracked behind me, wood snapping under weight. I turned. Someone was standing in the doorway. A silhouette. Tall and thin, like a man stretched wrong. Clothes burned, skin mottled with black patches and peeling like melted plastic. His head tilted slowly, like he was trying to understand me. Then I heard it. That same whisper from before. You're early. My body locked up. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. The figure stepped closer, and the temperature in the room spiked. The walls hissed as something hot and invisible made the air shimmer. He lifted a hand, burnt. Fingers fused together, and reached out like he expected me to give him something. The takeout. The order. Whatever he thought I still owed him. My mind screamed at me to run. But I was frozen. Then the phone on the floor lit up again and buzzed. New message. Please. It hurts. That's when I bolted. I ran out of the apartment, sprinted down the hallway, slammed the elevator button over and over. The doors opened slow as hell, like they were resisting. I jumped inside and hit lobby. The elevator didn't move. The lights dimmed. And in the mirrored metal doors, I saw him standing behind me. Not reflected like a normal person. More like his shape was burned into the metal itself. A scorch mark silhouette. Head tilted. Arm outstretched. The elevator lurched violently. Then dropped. Just for a split second, but enough to make me grab the railing and scream. Then the doors opened to the lobby. Bright light. Cold air. The security guard staring at me like I'd come out of nowhere. I didn't stop. I shoved past her, ran out the door, down the street to my car, and didn't look back. I haven't delivered food since. I quit the app. Blocked every number I didn't recognize. Stopped answering my door after dark. But sometimes, around 1 or 2 a.m., someone knocks anyway. Soft at first. Then louder. A bag of Chinese food always waits outside. The exact same order every time. And every few nights, a message pops up on my phone. No number attached. Just delivery incomplete. Come back. I never do, but last night, something new happened. I woke up to heat. Thick, suffocating heat. Like my room was filled with smoke. When I sat up, I saw something burned into the wall across from my bed. Black scorch marks spelling out a message. Big, shaky, just like the ones in the apartment. 6B, never left, and underneath it, in smaller, newer marks like fresh scratches, and neither will you. The first time I noticed it, I brushed it off. It was a beat-up gray sedan. One headlight busted. Rust patch on the front fender. Tinted windows. Nothing fancy. Just looked like someone's clunker trying to last one more winter. Saw it when I dropped off an order around 9 p.m. Suburban duplex, normal contactless handoff. The car was idling across the street. Didn't think much of it. Could have been a neighbor, another delivery driver, anything. But then I saw it again at the next stop. Different neighborhood, 5 miles away. Same car. Same busted headlight, still idling. I made the delivery quick. Even glanced back at the car to see if the driver looked familiar. Couldn't see much. The windows were too dark. But I swear I felt the eyes on me, like they weren't just watching. They were waiting. I've been a night driver for 2 years now. I know all the signs of a sketchy situation. Fake orders, dark alleys, setups. But this was different. Subtle. Quiet. Smart. By the 4th stop, I knew I wasn't imagining it. I pulled into an apartment complex, left a pizza by a 3rd floor door, turned around, and there it was. Parked at the end of the lot. Engine still running. Headlights off this time. My skin crawled. I got in my car and didn't move for a minute. Just stared at my rearview mirror. The sedan didn't follow me when I left. Not yet. I tried to forget about it. Told myself I was being paranoid. But the next night, it was back. My first delivery was at a gas station. Late night convenience order. Guy wanted snacks and energy drinks. I pulled into the side lot, and there it was again. Parked behind the dumpster. Same car. Same dented plate. Still couldn't see the driver. This time I walked straight over. I wasn't about to be stalked and do nothing. I got about 10 feet from the car when the engine revved and it peeled out of the lot. Tires screeching. No license plate on the back. Gone. That's when I filed a report with the app. They sent me an automated reply. Please contact local law enforcement if you feel unsafe. No follow-up. No help. So I tried to convince myself maybe it was a coincidence. Just a freak occurrence, right? But that same week, it escalated. It started with my routes being rerouted, like the app was glitching. I'd confirm one drop-off location, and just as I pulled up, the app would reroute me somewhere else. Always a little more isolated. A little darker. And somehow, that same damn car would be nearby when I arrived. At one point, I stopped mid-route, turned my phone off, and waited. 15 minutes later, the gray sedan turned onto the road ahead and rolled slowly past me. They were tracking me. I don't know how, but someone knew my exact location, even without the app running. That night I drove through a police station. Sat in the lot for half an hour, trying to work up the nerve to file a report. But what was I going to say? Someone might be following me. I keep seeing the same car. I had no name, no license, no threat, just a hunch and a cold feeling in my gut. I left without saying anything. When I got home, there was a small envelope taped to my front door. Inside, a photo of me, taken from behind. At one of my deliveries, I'm holding a food bag, walking toward a porch. The timestamp on the back? 20 minutes before I'd noticed the car for the first time. The next day, I didn't work, didn't even open the app, but that night, I still saw the car, parked 2 houses down. No movement. Just watching. I turned all the lights off in my apartment and sat by the window with a baseball bat and a phone at 911-ready. At 3:17 a.m. The car finally pulled away, but the next night, the deliveries started coming in again, even though I hadn't gone online. The app buzzed with requests that I didn't accept. One of them listed my own address as the drop-off location. I stayed up all night, watching the street. The app said I had a delivery coming, even though I deactivated my account hours ago. I tried uninstalling it, restarted my phone. Nothing worked. The order just sat there on my screen, mocking me. Pickup, complete. Drop off, my address. There was no cancel button. And when I looked outside, the car was back. Same beat-up gray sedan. Only now it wasn't across the street. It was parked in my driveway. I called 911. My voice cracked trying to explain what was happening. The operator told me to stay on the line. A unit would be dispatched. I paced the living room with the lights off, peeking through blinds. But when the cops arrived 10 minutes later, the car was gone. Of course it was. They were polite, but they didn't take it seriously. I could tell. I showed them the photo that was taped to my door. They said it was disturbing, but not illegal. They said if I see the car again, to write down the license plate. I told them it didn't have one. That made one of the officers glance at the other. I could see it in their faces. They thought I was paranoid. Maybe high. They left after 15 minutes. I didn't sleep. The next day, something else changed. The app was gone. Not like deleted, like it never existed. I searched my phone, checked the app store, nothing. No trace. Not even in my purchase history. But around noon, a new delivery bag showed up on my doorstep. It was my bag. The insulated red one I always kept in my trunk. Inside, an old phone, already powered on. One app installed. No logo. Just a black icon with a red dot. When I tapped it, it opened to a familiar screen. My name, my driver ID, and one message waiting. Your route continues tonight. You know the way. That night, the phone pinged again. 3 deliveries. All in neighborhoods I'd delivered to before. But this time, something was off. Each stop was a location I hadn't visited in months. And each one had a note under instructions. Not from a customer. From him. First stop. Do you remember this house? You left the food in the rain. It was true. I had months ago. I'd been in a rush and just dropped it on the porch, barely bagged. It started pouring 5 minutes later. I didn't think anyone noticed, but someone had. Second stop. You didn't say thank you when they tipped you. I remember that one too. The guy had given me a crumpled 5. I just nodded and walked off. I didn't think it mattered. Apparently it did. Third stop. You forgot the drink. But I didn't forget you. That one hit harder, because it wasn't just an address. It was a trailer on the edge of town. I delivered there once. The person who answered had looked wrong, like they hadn't slept in a year. I forgot the Coke, and the app made me go back out and get it. I was pissed off. Probably rude, but that was months ago, and he remembered all of it. I couldn't take it anymore. I drove straight to the police station and demanded to file a full report. This time, I brought evidence. The phone. The photos. The message history. They kept the phone for analysis. Said they'd assign someone to look into it. They let me sleep in a back room for a few hours, just to calm down. When I woke up, it was 4 a.m. I drove home, thinking maybe it was over, until I walked in and saw my apartment door wide open. Nothing was stolen, but everything had been moved slightly. Drawers cracked open an inch. Chairs turned slightly off-center. A cup on the counter tipped just enough to make me wonder if I bumped it earlier. And in the center of my kitchen table was a printed map. All my old delivery routes, traced in red. And a note. You never once asked who ordered the food. You just delivered it. You never even looked at their names. He was right, I didn't. I never cared who was on the other end. Just get in, get out, move on to the next one. But he remembered me. Every stop, every route, every mistake. He'd been watching me long before I ever noticed the car. I flipped the map over. Another message scribbled in red marker. Final delivery tonight. No contact. Come alone. Underneath was an address. I recognized it immediately. It was my childhood home. I hadn't been back there in over a decade. My mom died when I was in high school. The place had been sold, torn down, rebuilt. There was no reason he should know it. No reason anyone should know it. But there it was, the last stop. And I knew I had to go. Because if I didn't, I'd never be able to stop looking over my shoulder again. The drive took 2 hours. I pulled onto the old street and just sat there, staring at the address. My chest felt tight, my mouth dry. The house wasn't the same, it was newer. Nicer, but the lot, the shape of the road, even the stupid cracked sidewalk was identical. I got out. The air felt colder here, still, like even the wind didn't want to move. There was no car in the driveway. No lights on. No sign of life. But the front door was open. Slightly. I stepped inside. It smelled like fresh paint and sawdust. Empty house. Unfurnished. Walls bare. Floor echoing every footstep. The phone buzzed in my pocket. The old one. I pulled it out. Thank you for completing your route. One last thing. Look in the mirror. I turned. There was a floor-length mirror leaning against the far wall. Dusty, streaked, like someone dragged it out of storage. I walked toward it. My reflection looked tired. Older than I remembered, haunted, but as I stepped closer, something behind me shifted. And in the mirror, he was standing behind me, not a ghost. Not a demon, me. My same face. Same clothes. Same tired expression. But something was wrong with the eyes. Too calm. Too still. He raised a hand, slowly, deliberately. And waved. I spun around. No one was there. But when I looked back, he was still waving. And this time, I wasn't in the reflection at all. Just him. I ran. Out of the house. Into the car. I didn't stop until I was miles away. Breath shallow. Hands locked on the wheel. That was 2 days ago. I haven't turned on my phone since. I don't answer the door. I don't deliver food anymore. But last night, taped to my door, was a photo. It was me. Standing in front of the mirror, but in the photo, he was on the outside. And I was trapped behind the glass. The fog was thicker than I'd ever seen it, like the road was sinking into it, like the air itself had turned to smoke. I could barely see 5 feet ahead, just the white lines on the road fading into gray, the glow of my headlights smothered in mist. I was halfway through a late-night route, rural area. No streetlights, barely any signs, just endless tree lines and gravel driveways disappearing into the dark. The GPS kept glitching. 1 second I was 10 minutes away. The next it said I'd arrived. But there was nothing around me, no house, no mailbox. Just road. And then I saw them, 3 kids. Standing on the shoulder. I hit the brakes so hard the tires skidded. They didn't move. Just stood there in the fog. Faces turned toward me. No panic. No expression. They looked calm. Too calm. I lowered the window halfway. Hey, I called. You okay? You lost? They didn't answer. Just stood there. 2 girls, 1 boy. Maybe 9 or 10 years old. Pale skin, thin jackets. One of the girls was barefoot. Who lets kids out here this late? I looked around. No other cars, no houses. Nothing but fog and woods and the hum of my engine. Where are your parents? I asked, louder this time. The boy finally stepped forward. His eyes looked strange in the headlights, too reflective like glass. You're not supposed to be here after midnight, he said. I laughed nervously. No kidding, man, me either. But none of them smiled. The girl on the left raised her hand and pointed behind me, back the way I came. You should go back. I looked in the rearview mirror. The fog was gone behind me. The road looked clear. Clean. But ahead of me, it just got worse. Denser, like the air was congealing. Something was wrong with this place, and I hadn't even made the delivery yet. My phone buzzed. I checked the screen. New message from the customer. Don't stop for them. No name, no number. Just that. I looked back out the window. The kids were gone, not walking away. Not running, just gone. The fog had swallowed them whole. I should have turned around. I know that now, but I didn't. The app said I was only 2 minutes from the drop-off. I figured maybe there was a driveway I missed, or the house was set back in the woods. I kept driving. The fog grew heavier. I had to roll my window down just to breathe. The air smelled like burnt plastic and wet leaves. My ears were ringing slightly, like I'd just come out of a concert. Then I saw a turn-off. No sign, no mailbox. Just 2 tire tracks leading into the trees. The app lit up again. Turn here. So I did. The gravel crunched under my tires. Trees loomed in every direction. I crept down the path for maybe half a mile, every branch overhead curling like claws. Then I saw it. A small, crooked house. Old, wooden, no lights on, roof sagging. But someone had to live here, right? I pulled up, turned off the engine, and sat there a second. The fog wasn't as thick now, like it was circling the clearing, waiting. I stepped out, delivery bag in hand. Every footstep felt like it echoed forever in the silence. I climbed the porch and knocked. No answer. I knocked again. Nothing. I turned to leave. But then the door opened. By itself. Just a crack. Hello? I called. Still no answer. I should have left the food and walked away. But the bag felt suddenly heavier in my hand, like whatever was inside didn't want to be left behind. So I stepped inside. 1 foot over the threshold. Just enough to see into the dark hallway. The house smelled like mildew and dust. The floor creaked under me. Then, from somewhere deep inside, I heard footsteps. Light, barefoot, running, then laughter. Childish, high-pitched, giggling. I backed out immediately, heart pounding. Dropped the bag on the porch and started toward my car. That's when I saw the fog creeping closer again, curling around the trees like it was alive. Reached my car and yanked the door open. But someone was sitting in the passenger seat. It was the barefoot girl. Smiling. And in that moment, I swear I could see her eyes glowing through her hair. I froze completely. My brain emptied out. No words. No screams. Nothing. Just that hollow, falling sensation you get right before an accident. The barefoot girl sat perfectly still in my passenger seat. Knees together. Hands folded. Hair sticking to her damp cheeks. Her smile didn't move, not even when she blinked. For a moment, neither of us breathed. Then she tilted her head and whispered, "You shouldn't have come here." Every instinct in me screamed to run. But my legs locked. It felt like the fog itself was creeping into my muscles, tightening everything. Finally, I managed to stutter, "Woo." "Where are your—" She cut me off. "You left the door open." Before I could react, she reached out and touched my arm. Her fingers were ice cold. Not normal cold, stored in a freezer cold. I yanked my arm back, stumbled away, fell onto the gravel. When I scrambled up again, my breath catching, the girl was gone. Passenger seat empty. Door still open. No footsteps in the dirt. No sound, nothing, just fog curling around my legs like it was alive. I dove into the driver's seat, slammed the door, and locked it. My hands shook so hard, I could barely jam the key into the ignition. It didn't start. The engine clicked uselessly, like the battery had died from fear. Come on. Come on, please. Dead. Completely dead. The fog thickened around the windshield, smothering the glass until all I could see was shifting white. Then something pressed against the back window. A hand. Small. Pale. Wet. I choked on my breath. Another hand appeared beside it. Then another. Little fingerprints smearing cold streaks across the glass. Child-sized hands. Too many hands. They pressed harder. Hard enough to make the car rock slightly. Then I heard the laughter again, the same giggling from inside the house. It came from all around me, blending with the fog, echoing in tones that didn't sound human anymore. I slammed my fist on the steering wheel, desperate. Stop. Leave me alone. The laughter stopped instantly. Silence dropped so hard it felt like The world had fallen away. Then a small voice whispered right behind my head. Okay. I didn't turn around. Couldn't. I just grabbed my phone and dialed 911 with trembling fingers. It rang once. Then a child's voice answered. You're not supposed to call anyone. I dropped the phone like it burned me. The fog outside shifted, moved, parted, and 3 small figures stepped into view. The kids from the road. Only now I could see them clearly. Their clothes were wrong, stained, torn. Their hair matted with dirt and mud. Their skin too pale, almost gray. Their eyes dark and hollow, like the fog was sucking the color out of them. They stood in a row, facing me. The boy took a step closer. He opened his mouth, and for a second, it looked like smoke leaked out. You need to finish the delivery. My entire body went cold. The bag, the food, still on the porch. This is your order? I whispered. All 3 nodded. In perfect unison, like marionettes pulled by the same string. Forced myself to breathe, shallow, shaking breaths, and cracked the door open. The fog rushed in immediately, cold and thick, sliding over my skin like wet cloth. The kids watched quietly as I stepped out. No blinking, no shifting, just waiting. I moved toward the porch slowly, every step feeling like it dragged me deeper into something I shouldn't see. The food bag sat where I'd dropped it, except something was different now. It was open. The containers inside were also open. And empty. Of them, the kids were right behind me now. I didn't hear them move. They were just suddenly there. The barefoot girl leaned forward and sniffed the empty container. Then she looked up at me. It wasn't enough. My throat tightened. Enough for what? The boy pointed deeper into the house. For him. The house groaned. Slow, long, like something shifting in the walls. And then I heard it. Footsteps. Heavy, uneven, dragging, coming down the hallway. Closer, closer. The kids stepped back and formed a straight line behind me, almost respectfully, like they were making room. The footsteps reached the doorway's edge. I didn't see a person. I saw a shape, a tall figure, hunched unnaturally, like its spine was bent. Something about the proportions was wrong, too long in some places, too short in others, like it hadn't decided how to fit inside a human frame. It crawled into the doorway. One hand gripped the molding, fingers curling in a way that made the wood creak. Its voice was a low, slow rumble. Hungry. My breath froze. I backed away. The kids didn single quotes. The boy looked up at me. Expression soft and almost apologetic. We told you not to come after midnight. And then that thing, whatever it was, stepped onto the porch, not walking, pulling itself. As if moving through air took effort. The wood groaned under its weight. I stumbled backward off the porch, fell hard onto my tailbone, scrambled away on my hands. My car was still dead. The fog was closing in. The creature leaned into the night air, head turning toward me. Its face. God, its face looked like someone had taken a normal face and stretched it wrong. Features in the right place, but with too much space between them. Its eyes were sunken, black, empty, and its mouth. Its mouth never stopped moving, chewing, always chewing. What do you want? I begged. Its jaw paused mid-grind. Then it answered, voice like fog scraping across the floorboards. The one who called. It pointed at me. My stomach plummeted. What do you mean, the one who called? The kids answered together. The order wasn't for us. I didn't think. I just ran through the fog. Down the driveway. Branches whipping my arms. Rocks catching my shoes. Every breath shredded my throat. My heart felt like it was tearing itself apart. Behind me. I heard it moving, dragging, sniffing, searching. And behind that, the children's soft footsteps in perfect unison. I hit the main road and didn't stop. Didn't look back. Just kept running until my legs almost gave out. Finally, I saw headlights coming toward me through the fog. A truck. I ran into the road waving my arms. Screaming. The truck screeched to a stop inches from me. The driver jumped out, cursing, but stopped when he saw my face wild-eyed, covered in dirt and sweat. "Please," I gasped. Something's in the woods. Kid's fog, something's following me." He stared at me carefully. "Too carefully. You shouldn't be out here this late," he said quietly. I flinched. Not again. Not another one. Not another, but then he grabbed my arm and pulled me into the truck. "Get in, now." He floored it before I even closed the door. I collapsed against the seat, sobbing, shaking. He kept glancing into his rearview mirror. Once we were miles away, he finally spoke. "You're lucky I saw you," he said softly. "Fog nights are dangerous. What, you've seen them before?" I whispered. He didn't answer right away. Just drove. Then finally, "Everyone who lives out here knows about the children." I swallowed hard. My hands still shook. "What? Are they?" His voice was barely above a whisper. "Leftovers." I didn't ask what that meant. I didn't want to know. He dropped me at a gas station near the highway and told me not to look back. Not tonight. Not ever. I called a friend for a ride. Took 2 showers. Slept with the lights on, and I never took another delivery route in a rural area again. But the fog still finds me sometimes. In places it shouldn't. Parking lots. Drive-throughs. My own street. And last night, when I looked out my living room window, 3 small shapes stood in the mist at the end of my driveway, just standing there, waiting. The instructions were weird. I've gotten some sketchy delivery notes before. Back alley drop-offs, no contact rules. People in towels asking me to slide it under the door. But this one was different. Really different. It read, "Come through the back gate. Do not use the front door. Walk past the garage. Down the stairs. Leave food at basement door. Do not knock. Do not speak." The entire message was in all caps. No emojis. No punctuation. And underneath that, just 3 words. Written in lowercase. "Tip under brick." It felt like a dare. I should have skipped it. It was past 1:30 a.m., and I was already pushing overtime. But the payout on this one, $50. For a single sandwich. I figured, worst case, it's just a weirdo who doesn't want to wake their roommates. Best case, I get paid enough to cover groceries for the week. So I accepted it. The address led me to a house on the outskirts of town, not quite rural, but close. No street lights. The kind of street where each house is 30 yards from the next. No sidewalk. Lots of dead trees. The place looked abandoned. Faded paint, sagging roof, a for sale sign pushed halfway into the overgrown lawn. But my app said the order was still live. I parked by the curb and walked. Around back, the gate creaked open. The backyard was worse, weeds waist high. A tire swing still barely moving, like someone had just walked away from it. No lights, no sounds, just the crunch of dry grass under my shoes. I passed the garage. The door was cracked open. Smelled like rust and gasoline. Then I saw the basement steps. Old concrete, partly sunken, leading down to a black door tucked beneath the house. Just like the instructions said. And the weirdest part? The door was already open. Not fully. Just an inch or 2. Enough to see there was a red glow coming from somewhere inside. My gut twisted. I stood there, frozen, holding this dumb sandwich like it was going to protect me. Then movement. Something shifted just beyond the doorway. A quick blur. Low to the ground. Then a voice. Male. Calm. "Leave it." That's all he said. I blinked. Okay. I crouched down slowly, placed the bag in front of the door, and just before I stood up, I noticed something under the bag. Not part of it, beneath it. A brown envelope with my name on it handwritten. I picked it up. It was thick, sealed with tape. The flap stained with something. Dark, greasy, dry. I peeled it open. Inside was cash, thick wads of it, and a note folded in. Quarters. Written in the same blocky handwriting as the delivery. Instructions. I opened it. And what it said made my skin crawl. I've watched you work. I like your face. You don't talk too much. That's good. Let's do this again tomorrow. Underneath that, in the same red ink, same time, same door, new instructions inside. I didn't sleep that night. I kept the envelope sealed in a Ziploc bag in the freezer like evidence, and I called the app support line in the morning. I told them the whole thing. Sketchy house, back entrance, creepy note, money off app. They deactivated the address, or so they claimed. But the next night, same time, the order popped up again. Same user, same instructions. This time, the note added something new. Bring a flashlight. Basement lights out. No phones. I didn't accept the order. I watched it sit in the queue for 15 minutes. Then vanished. At 2:08 a.m., someone knocked on my door. Not loud. Just 3 slow knocks. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just stared at the door like it was going to come apart. When I finally got the nerve to check the peephole, no one was there. But on the floor, another envelope. Same handwriting. This one didn't have money. Just a photo. A picture of me walking up to their house the night before. It was taken from inside the basement. I didn't sleep after I found the photo. I didn't even move for a while. I just sat on the floor with my back against the wall, staring at the envelope like it might start whispering. That picture had been taken from below me, through a crack or a vent inside that basement. Someone had been inches away, watching me walk up the steps, watching me leave, watching where I ran. They knew where I lived. I should have called the police. I know that. But the truth is, I'd convinced myself they wouldn't believe me. A creepy customer? A weird note? Cash in an envelope? To them, it wouldn't be enough. And the thought of telling a stranger. Yeah, someone took a photo of me from inside their basement at 1:30 a.m. Just felt insane. So I stayed quiet. And that was my mistake. The next night, the order came in again. Same address, same instructions, except this time, one line was different. You forgot your envelope. I stared at that notification until my eyes stung. The envelope had still been in my freezer, or so I thought. I ran to check. It was gone. I don't know why I went back. I told myself it was to end it, to figure out who it was, to catch them, to get evidence. But the truth, the sick, embarrassing truth, is that I needed to know why me, what they wanted, what they had been doing in that basement. Some part of me felt like turning away now would only make it worse. So I grabbed the flashlight, and I drove. The house looked even more abandoned than before. No lights, no sound. Same weeds. Same tire swing frozen in place. Only this time, the back gate was already open, and the basement door wasn't cracked. It was open wide. Waiting. Inviting. I stood at the top of the steps and shined my flashlight. The cones, red glow from before was gone. Just darkness. Thick, old, heavy darkness. I stepped down. Every step echoed. At the bottom, I hesitated, hand hovering over the doorframe. The wood was warm to the touch, like someone had just pressed against it. I pushed the door fully open and stepped inside. The smell hit me first. Not death, not rot, something else. Wet metal, dirty laundry, old air. The kind of stagnant smell that only exists underground. My flashlight cut through the dark. The basement was bigger than I expected, almost like a bunker. Cement walls, low ceiling, Exposed pipes overhead, and written on the wall in thick red strokes, dripping. Smeared were the words, nitrogen monoxide talking. My throat tightened. On the opposite wall, nitrogen monoxide running, and on the ceiling, nitrogen monoxide leaving. I turned in a slow circle, light shaking in my hand. Someone had taken their time writing those rules, layered over them again and again. The deeper I walked, the more things I saw. A mattress on the floor, a set of dirty clothes piled in a corner, an old camping lantern, empty food containers from restaurants I recognized, and a bucket half filled with something thick and dark. My stomach twisted. Then, from the corner, I heard breathing. I spun and aimed the flashlight. Something moved behind an old wooden wardrobe, a shadow tall, thin, shifting slightly as if swaying on its feet. My voice cracked. Hello? Silence. Then the breathing grew heavier. I took one shaky step forward. Who are you? The shadow shifted again. I saw a hand grip the edge of the wardrobe, pale fingers too long, knuckles swollen like bone pressing through skin. Then a voice came out, low, wrong, like someone speaking through a mouth that didn't quite work anymore. You came back. I stumbled backward. Stay there. Don't move. But the shadow stepped out anyway, and I swear, my flashlight dimmed on its own, like the dark swallowed half the beam. The man, if he was a man, stood barefoot on the cement, clothes shredded, chest crawling with old scars, hair matted and oily, eyes wide and unblinking, like he didn't know how to control them. He smiled at me, a slow, stretched smile that looked painful on his face. When he spoke again, his voice scraped like it came from his ribs. I wrote you instructions. I shook my head. I'm leaving. Right now. His smile twitched, trembled, stretched wider. No leaving. He pointed up at the rules scrawled on the ceiling. And then something moved behind me. A soft click. The basement door. Closing. I spun and saw a shape at the top of the stairs. Someone. Small. Thin. Their face hidden in the dark. They whispered down the steps. Don't go yet. My blood froze. Another whisper joined them from the shadows. Waited so long. Then another. We're hungry. Little voices. More than one. More than two. Children. I backed against the wall, flashlight trembling. The man stepped closer, leaning forward like an insect studying prey. This house was mine, he said. Before the fire. Before the others left. I stayed. I stayed for them. He pointed to the shadows behind me. Shapes moved. Small. Fast. Whispering. The man inched nearer. They all left me. He rasped. But you? You came back. You followed the rules. I didn't, I whispered. His smile widened. You will. I bolted. I shoved past him. He was lighter than he looked, sprinted toward the stairs. The kids whispered as I passed, tiny fingers brushing my jacket like cold spider legs. I hit the steps at full speed. The man shrieked, a raw, cracking sound, and lunged after me. I grabbed the railing and hauled myself up. 2 steps at a time. I felt fingers brush my ankle, then grab. His grip was ice cold and too strong. I kicked hard, heels smashing against bone. Something cracked. He screamed, more like a wounded animal than a man, and released me. I exploded out the basement door, ran across the yard, didn't stop. Didn't breathe. The fog outside was thick, thicker than before, but I could hear them behind me. Footsteps. Pattering feet. Whispers. Getting closer. Don't leave. Don't leave us. You came back. You're ours. I reached my car, yanked the door open, jumped inside. Slammed it shut. The engine didn't start at first. Of course it didn't. I pounded the wheel, screaming, begging, shaking so hard the keys rattled. Please just start. It coughed, Turned. Caught. I floored it. Tires spitting dirt. The man's silhouette. Erupting from the fog behind me, running far too. Fast for a broken body. His hand hit the back of my car as I tore. Out of the driveway, he shrieked, a sound I'll never forget. A sound like metal ripping, but I didn't stop. Not until the fog disappeared in my rear view. I went to the police the next morning, showed them the photo, the envelopes, the house. They sent a unit. 2 hours later, an officer called me. There's nothing in the basement, he said. Just a flooded space. No mattress. No writing. No stairs. They collapsed years ago. I almost dropped the phone. He kept talking. House has been abandoned since the fire in 2009. No utilities. No owner. No one could have lived there. I hung up without replying, because the worst part wasn't that they didn't believe me. The worst part was this. When I got home, a new envelope was waiting under my door. Same handwriting, same red ink. Inside was another photo, a picture of me, taken from behind. Standing at the police station, and under it, the same 3 rules. Nitrogen monoxide talking, nitrogen monoxide running, no leaving, and one more line beneath them. Tomorrow, same time. I knew the street looked familiar. Same sloped driveway, same overgrown lawn, same porch light flickering like it was struggling to stay alive. I even remembered the crooked mailbox, leaning a little too far to the left. But when I pulled up to deliver the food, the app said this was a new order. New customer, new address, even though I was 100% sure I'd been here before. I shook it off. It was past midnight, and I'd been driving for hours. Fatigue plays tricks. The suburbs all blur together after a while. I walked up to the porch, delivery bag in hand. The air was still. Too still. Like even the bugs were holding their breath. The instructions said, leave food at door. Don't knock. Don't leave until timer runs out. That part was new. I looked at the app. Sure enough, a 60-second countdown started as soon as I marked the food, delivered. I stood there. Tick, tick. The porch creaked under me. A moth hit the light above my head and dropped. 40 seconds. I turned slightly, looking over my shoulder. No movement. 30 seconds. That's when I saw the window beside the door. Curtains pulled tight, but not completely. There was a gap, small, like someone had just peeked through it. I couldn't see inside, but I felt someone watching. 0.15 seconds. The app made a sound, soft chime, and the screen flashed, delivery complete. Thank you. I turned and walked back to my car. Got in, drove away. But here's the thing. When I turned the next corner and hit the next block, the same house was there again. Same sloped driveway, same porch light, same crooked mailbox. I thought I took a wrong turn. Checked the GPS. It rerouted and brought me back to the same address. Except now the order had reset. New delivery. Same house, same name, same instructions. I stared at the app, my stomach churning. Was it glitched? I checked the order history. It said I hadn't completed the delivery yet, but I had. I stood on that porch. I waited the full minute, didn't I? I figured maybe the system crashed. No big deal. I'd redo it. So I walked back up to the house, still holding the same food, and placed it down again. Marked it delivered. The timer started again. 60 seconds. Tick, tick. Something was different. The porch light was off now, and the gap in the curtain was wider. 20 seconds in, I heard something. A soft knock from the inside. Not on the door. From inside the wall. Like someone was tapping from behind the wood. 3 slow knocks. I stepped back. Heart rate rising. 4-5 seconds. The door handle twitched. I flinched. Fists clenched, ready to run, but it didn't open. Just turned slightly. And stopped. 60 seconds. The app chimed. I turned and walked off faster this time. I drove 5 blocks away. Took a turn. Another dot, but when I checked the GPS, I was outside the same house again. The porch light was back on. The same moth hit the bulb and dropped. And the food bag, still full, sat in my passenger seat. The order? Still active. The name? Harrow. I sat there in the car, cold sweat on my neck, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Was I hallucinating? Dreaming? Dead? I opened the door slowly, stepped out. This time, I didn't go up to the house. I walked around it. There were no cars in the driveway. No trash bins. No hose. No life. The windows were black, covered. Reflections didn't show anything. Like the glass was too thick to let anything out. I walked to the back, or tried to. But behind the house was another house. Same design. Same porch. Same door. Like it had been copied and pasted behind itself. My legs turned to stone. I ran back to the car, threw the food bag in the back seat. And this time, I just drove straight. Didn't look at the app. Didn't turn. Just kept going. 5 minutes later. Same street. Same house. Same order. And this time, the message on the app had changed. We're not done yet. Come back inside. I told myself I wasn't going back up to the porch. I told myself I was done. That I'd drive straight to a gas station, a diner, anywhere with people and lights and the smell of real life. But 5 minutes later, I was standing in front of that same crooked mailbox. Again, the porch light flickered. Again, the moth hit the bulb. Again, the app buzzed in my pocket. We're not done yet. Come back inside. This time, the food bag was gone. Replaced with a new one, identical, but heavier. I didn't pack this. I didn't bring this. I opened the top. Inside was not food. Just a tape recorder. Old, cassette style. A yellow post-it note stuck to it. Play me inside. I looked at the house. Curtains still pulled. Door shut tight. A pressure in the air like something was holding its breath. I told myself I could just open the door, toss the recorder inside, and leave. So I walked up the steps, hand shaking. I turned the knob. It opened easily. The air inside was stale. Heavy, like the whole place had been sealed for years. It didn't smell like rot. It smelled like memory, dust, old wood. A hint of vanilla that had long gone sour. I stepped into the hallway. The second the door clicked shut behind me, the sound of the world outside vanished. No cars. No wind, nothing. Like the house was cut off from everything else. I pressed play on the tape. Recorder. Static. Then, a voice. My voice. If you're hearing this, it means you made the same mistake I did. You stayed too long. You went too deep. You tried to leave and you couldn't. My heart hit my ribs. The voice continued. This house doesn't repeat. You do. Every time you leave, it brings you back. It watches who knocks, who waits, who hesitates. That timer wasn't for them. It was for you. I paused the tape. My breath came in short, sharp bursts. I looked down the hallway. Something had changed. A door at the far end was now open a crack. Light spilled out. I moved toward. It's slow. The hallway felt longer than before, like I was walking into a stretched version of the house. Open door revealed a dining room, empty except for a single chair and a mirror on the wall. I stepped closer. The mirror showed a me. Standing in that room. But when I moved, my reflection didn't. It just stared. Then slowly lifted its hand and waved. I backed away so fast I nearly tripped. The chair scraped the floor on its own. A voice behind me whispered, "Sit." I spun. No one there. The app buzzed again in my pocket. New message. You accepted the delivery. Now be the delivery. I ran through the hallway, out the door, But outside was the same house again. Same street. Same air, no neighbors. No moon. Just me. And that damn porch light. I ran to my car. Got in. Turned the engine. It roared to life. But when I looked out the windshield, the house was in front of me. Even though I'd parked facing the other direction. I shifted into reverse, slammed the pedal. The car moved fast. But the scenery didn't change. The house never left my view. It was always in front of me, like the world was folding around it, like I was on a treadmill built from this one block of cursed suburbia. I braked. Slammed my head against the wheel. The app buzzed one last time. A final message appeared. We made this place for people like you. You don't belong out there. You deliver. That's all you do. Then the screen went black. The phone powered off. It's been days, I think. The sun never rises. No matter which direction I drive, I always return to that house. Sometimes I try to go into different houses nearby, but when I do, I find the same hallway, the same mirror, the same reflection that doesn't follow my movements. Sometimes I scream. No one hears. Sometimes I sleep in the car, but the house is still outside the windshield. When I wake up, the moth still hits the porch bulb over and over. And the worst part? I've started seeing others, people just like me. Wandering. Confused. Delivery bags in hand. One guy sat on the curb, muttering, I only took the job for extra cash. Just for a couple weeks. A girl with matted hair passed me the other day, eyes wide, whispering, I think we're the food now. We don't talk much, because we all feel it. The house is listening. Always listening. And the second someone breaks a rule, they disappear. I tried something last night. I walked up to the house. I didn't deliver anything. I didn't knock. I just stood there. The porch light turned off. Door opened on its own. A voice inside whispered, finally. I didn't go in, but I know I will. Eventually. Because this place doesn't let you rest. You're either running from the house, or you're inside it. Those are the only two states of being. I pulled up just after 2 a.m., dead tired and one delivery away from logging out for the night. The house was out in the woods, not the deep forest or anything. Just one of those long country roads with no streetlights, no neighbors, and no cell signal. Quiet enough to hear the bugs stop chirping. It was one of those deliveries where you second guess every turn. No porch light. No house number on the mailbox. The GPS stopped halfway down the gravel drive, left the engine running and climbed out. The only light was my headlights cutting through the mist. I grabbed the bag from the passenger seat and started walking toward what I assumed was the front porch. That's when I saw her. Woman, standing barefoot at the end of the driveway. I froze. She didn't wave, didn't call out, just stood there, backlit in my headlights. Thin frame, long white gown, hair hanging past her shoulders in heavy strands like she'd just gotten out of the shower. She didn't move, didn't blink. I took a step back, heart suddenly racing. Hey, I called, holding up the food. Did you order this? She tilted her head slightly, like a curious animal. That's when I realized something was wrong with her face. I couldn't see her features. Not just shadowed, missing. No nose, no eyes, no mouth, just smooth, blank skin. I blinked, took another step back. My brain tried to fill it in. Maybe it was a mask, or some kind of accident victim. But no, something in me knew that what I was looking at wasn't possible. She took one slow step forward. That's all I needed. I turned and ran back to my car, jumped in, locked the doors. Engine already running. She was still standing there, in the same spot as I pulled a sharp reverse, and backed out of that gravel drive like I was being chased, even though she never moved. I didn't deliver the food, didn't care. I drove for 25 minutes until I hit a gas station with fluorescent lights and people, and the smell of hot dogs and motor oil. Anything but the silence of that road. I opened the app to cancel the delivery, and that's when I saw it, the name on the order. No face, user hashtag #00 closing parenthesis .no address .no phone number .no contact info just the words. She's waiting. Leave it with her. I tried to file a report with the app. Flag it. Block the order. But the second I hit submit, the app crashed. I restarted my phone. When it came back on, I had one new notification. Your drop-off was incomplete. Please return and finish delivery. And underneath it, a photo taken through my windshield. Me staring at her. Right before I ran. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, or lack of one, standing there at the edge of the world. I kept checking my windows, half convinced she'd be standing under the streetlight outside my apartment. She wasn't, but the delivery never disappeared from the app. The next night, around the same time, 2:03 a.m., my phone buzzed again. New message. No name. No number. Try again. This time don't run. There was another photo. This time it was my front door, taken from the outside. I didn't answer the message, didn't open my door, didn't sleep. I sat with every light on, gripping a kitchen knife and staring at my peephole, like it might blink back at me. But no one knocked. No one paced outside. The street was empty. At 4 a.m., the delivery app buzzed again. I felt sick just seeing the notification bar light up. It said, "She's still waiting. You owe her a face." I turned the phone off and threw it across the room. But when I checked it an hour later, the phone was already on. The app already open. A new route already set. Same destination. Same gravel drive. Same order. Except the note had changed. Come alone. She can't follow you inside. Inside what? Inside the house? Inside her? I didn't understand any of it, but I couldn't shake one horrible truth. If I didn't go back, she would come here, and I couldn't let her come here. I waited until after dark the next night. I told myself I was stupid, insane, reckless, but fear does insane things to you, especially when it's the kind of fear that moves when you sleep and watches when you breathe. I drove back out toward the woods. The road felt longer this time, more empty, like it was swallowing my headlights. The gravel driveway came into view, exactly as before. The same trees, the same mist, the same dead quiet. But she wasn't at the entrance. She was closer, standing halfway up the driveway now, facing me. Waiting. I stopped the car 20 feet away. My hands shook so hard I could barely shift into park. She didn't step forward, didn't tilt her head. She just stood there, her blank skin reflecting my headlights like dull porcelain. I rolled the window down 2 inches. "Why me?" I whispered. No answer. Just the low whistle of night, air moving between trees. I forced myself to open the door, but my legs felt numb, like they weren't mine. When I stepped onto the gravel, she reacted. Not by moving, but by breathing. A soft, low inhale, slow and wrong, like someone learning how lungs work. I gripped the delivery bag in one hand, my throat tight. "Okay," I whispered. "I'm here. What do you want?" She raised her hand. Slow, mechanical. Her finger pointed at the house, the dark shape barely visible through the trees. I didn't want to go anywhere near that place, but I also didn't want her to come closer. So I walked. The woman followed. Not beside me, not behind me, exactly 20 feet away. Always the same distance. Silent, gliding, blank face aimed at my skull. The house loomed ahead like a dead giant. No lights, no windows visible, just shadow. When I reached the porch, she stopped at the tree line. I turned to look at her. She raised her hand again, pointing to the door, then lowered her arm and stood perfectly still. I understood the message. She couldn't come inside. Something kept her out. Something worse than her. My hand shook violently as I turned the knob. The door opened with a soft click. The air inside hit me like a wall, dry, dusty, warm, like the breath of something sleeping too long. I stepped in. The door closed behind me on its own. No wind, no sound, just a house that felt like a mouth shutting. My phone buzzed in my pocket. One new message. She wants you to see. Go to the mirror. I walked deeper. The house wasn't abandoned. Not exactly. Furniture covered in sheets. Floors scratched. Walls stained with years of moisture. Every room smelled like something had lived here and died here and stayed here. The mirror was in the hallway. Tall, old, the kind with a carved wooden frame. I wiped the dust with my sleeve and stared into it. At first, it was just my reflection, wide eyes, pale face, chest rising and falling too fast. Then something shifted behind me, a faint shape. Tall, thin, standing at the end of the hall. Not the faceless woman, someone else. Someone with a face, a man. I spun around. No one. But when I turned back to the mirror, he was closer. Much closer, right behind me. His reflection leaned toward my shoulder, whispering something I couldn't hear. Mouth moving too fast. Too many syllables at once. I stumbled back. The mirror shook. The frame cracked, and something fell from behind it. A photograph. Picked it up. It was old, water damaged. A family of 3 stood on that same porch outside. A father, a mother, a little girl. The mother. Her face was scribbled out, scratched so violently the paper tore. On the back, written in a trembling hand, she took her face first. Then she came for mine. Don't answer the window. My blood froze. A sound came from down the hall. Knocking. Soft, rhythmic tapping, coming from inside the walls. No, from the window. I turned. A window I hadn't noticed before. And through it, the faceless woman. Standing inches from the glass. Her head tilted, her blank skin pressed lightly against the pane as if tasting it. I backed away immediately, remembering the warning. Don't answer the window. Her hand lifted. Slow. She placed her palm against the glass. My phone buzzed. A message appeared. Don't let her in. She wants your face. Another buzzed. A photo, this time of me, taken from the dark hallway behind, but my face in the photo was smooth. Blank, just like hers. I dropped the phone. A sound wet scraping came from above me, ceiling boards bending, something crawling overhead. Then a whisper. You don't need it. Cold fingers brushed my hair. I ran through the hallway, down the stairs, toward the front door. But when I reached it, it wasn't a door anymore. Just a wall. The house had shifted. The way out was gone. Another whisper behind me. Give it to her. Hands, too many hands, slid across the walls, pressing through peeling wallpaper, reaching for my face. I shoved past them, stumbled into the kitchen. There was another mirror there. My reflection flickered for a second, showing me with no features, then normal. Then gone entirely. I grabbed the mirror and smashed it on the floor. Glass scattered. Something in the walls screamed, shrill, furious, inhuman. I bolted toward the back door. This one opened. The cold night air hit my lungs like ice. The faceless woman was just beyond the porch. Waiting. Her mouthless head turned toward me. I stepped back. She stepped forward, one smooth, floating step. I reached for anything, a stick, a rock, anything. But the porch was empty. She stretched her hand toward, and just inches away. Her fingers hovered above my lips. As if feeling their shape. Temperature, like she was memorizing my face. No mouth, and yet, I felt her breathing through me. My vision blurred. My thoughts stretched. Like something was peeling me apart from the inside. Then behind me, from inside the house, a man's voice screamed, "Run!" It wasn't the whisper. It was a real voice, pained, human, terrified. The faceless woman jerked sharply, halo of hair snapping like static. And in that tiny moment, that fraction of a second, I ran past her. Down the driveway, legs burning, vision shaking. I didn't stop until I hit the main road and collapsed. A passing truck found me, picked me up, called 911. The cops found nothing in the woods. The house was gone. Not demolished. Gone. No foundation. No debris. No sign it ever existed. They told me I had a stress-induced episode. Suggested therapy. Handed me a card. But I know what I saw. And I know what saw me. The delivery app still sends me a notification every night at 2:03. Same message. Always the same. Try again. And tonight, when I looked outside, there was a woman standing across the street. Thin. Still. Hair hanging over her shoulders. I couldn't see her face. But I know. It's because she hasn't taken mine yet. I was halfway through my Friday night shift when the order came in. Big tip. Nice neighborhood. Address matched a suburban cul-de-sac 20 minutes out. The kind of place where every house has a flag, a swing set, and at least one kid screaming about Minecraft. The instructions were super normal. Leave food on porch. Don't ring. No contact. I didn't think twice. It was a family-sized dinner order from a Thai place. Pad see ew, spring rolls, 3 drinks, extra rice. Pretty typical. I pulled up a little after 10:45 p.m. Nice house. Lights on. Minivan in the driveway. Porch light glowing. Nothing unusual. I walked up with the bag, set it down, snapped the photo. Right as I turned around, the door opened behind me. A man, mid-40s, tired, polite, poked his head out. "Hey. What's this?" he asked. I blinked. "Delivery. For 92 Ashgrove?" He frowned. "We didn't order anything." I checked the app. This is the address listed." "From who?" I scrolled. "Name, Heather." He shook his head. "My wife's name's Megan." His voice had this flat tone that made the hair on my neck rise. I glanced at the bag. It was still sealed. Definitely untouched. Could be a glitch, I muttered. "Happens sometimes." He nodded, but didn't take his eyes off the food. "I'll go ask my wife." He turned back into the house. That's when I heard a voice. A little girl's voice. From upstairs. Behind the second floor window. "Don't let him take it." I looked up. There was a girl, maybe 6 or 7, standing behind the glass. Face pale. Staring down at me. Expression blank. I smiled out of instinct and gave a little wave. She didn't react. Just stood there, watching. The man came back a minute later. "She says she didn't order anything." "You sure it's not for another Ashgrove?" "There's one in North Crest too." "I'll double check," I said, already pulling out my phone. He squinted at me. "You okay?" "What? You're pale." I tried to laugh it off. "Just been a long shift." "Right." He paused. "You didn't hear anything just now, did you?" That made me freeze. He added quickly, "Sorry, stupid question." Then he picked up the bag like it had personally offended him. "Well, someone paid for it. I guess it's ours now." I left fast. Didn't think much more of it until I got another order an hour later, smaller. Different customer, different area. But when I pulled up to that house, there was a little girl in the window. Same height, same long brown hair, same blank stare, just watching me. I left the food on the porch and backed away slowly, didn't knock, didn't look back. In the car, I pulled up the last order, the Thai food. Tried to track the account that placed it. It had been deleted. That night, I woke up around 3 a.m. to a sound. Knocking. Soft, slow. At my window. Live on the second floor. I grabbed my phone, heart pounding, and peeked out through the blinds. No one there, but on the sidewalk across the street, a girl stood under the streetlight, barefoot, pajamas, arms at her sides. Looking up at my window. She didn't wave, didn't move. I blinked and she was gone. The next day I called the app support line, told them someone was messing with orders, maybe even stalking drivers. They gave me a half-hearted apology, said they'd escalate to internal. Right before I hung up, I asked them if they could check the account that placed the original Thai order. They said it was never in the system. I didn't take any orders the next day, didn't open the app, didn't answer the phone. I couldn't stop thinking about her, the girl in the window. How still she was. How wrong she felt, even though she never moved. How she showed up at 2 separate houses, in 2 different neighborhoods. Then, last night, it happened again. I took one short shift, just to test myself. Told myself I was being dramatic. The order came from a Mexican place across town. Tacos, churros, horchata, nothing unusual. The customer name was S. Hall. The house was in a new neighborhood, modern development, totally different vibe. No trees, just sidewalks, fences, and Google Nest doorbells. I dropped the food on the porch, took the usual photo, started walking back down the path. Then something made me stop. A soft thump from above. I turned slowly. There she was. Second floor. Curtains half drawn. The same little girl. Same pajamas. Same flat expression. Same blank stare. She wasn't blinking. She wasn't supposed to be here. I backed up, snapped a photo. Thought maybe I could prove it. But when I checked the photo in the car, the window was empty. Just curtains. No girl. I pulled up the order history. The account that placed this one also deleted. No record. No trace. Like someone was placing orders, leading me to random houses, and bringing her with them, or worse. Maybe she wasn't following the orders. Maybe she was following me. Later that night, I posted about it in a private Facebook group for drivers. Didn't name specifics. Just asked, asterisk, ever had the same person show up at multiple houses when delivering? Little girl. Window. Doesn't blink. Starting to freak me out. Asterisk. I didn't expect replies, but I got 2. Both from different cities. One guy wrote, "Yo, I swear to God, I saw a kid like that last week. Drop off, window, didn't even move. I left so fast I almost hit a mailbox." Another, "I've seen her too. It's the eyes, or the lack of them. Feels like if you stare too long, you'll forget where you are." No one knew her name, but everyone agreed on one thing: she only shows up when the food gets there. That's when the theory hit me. What if she's not appearing at these houses? What if she's already inside, and the food, the order, is just how she gets attention? What if I've been helping her? I couldn't stop thinking about that first house. The one with the man and his wife, and the little girl upstairs. What if she wasn't their daughter? What if she wasn't supposed to be there at all? What if she never left? So I went back. Same house. 92. Ashgrove. Porch light was off this time. Car still in the driveway. No signs of life. I stood across the street for a while, just watching. Then, against every bit of good judgment, I walked up the driveway and rang the doorbell. No answer. Waited a full minute. Rang again. Still nothing. But just as I turned to leave, the door opened behind me. It was the wife this time, older than I expected. Red eyes, like she'd been crying. "Can I help you?" I fumbled. "I delivered here a few nights ago. Thai food." I think there might have been some confusion. Her face went pale. She stepped outside, closed the door behind her. "We didn't order that," she said. "We've never ordered delivery to this house, ever." I swallowed. Right, I figured that out after. Sorry again. Then I asked, do you have a daughter? She didn't answer. She just looked at me, and then quietly asked, you saw her too? I felt cold all over. I nodded slow. She was upstairs, watching. The woman's voice dropped to a whisper. She's not ours. We've seen her a few times. Always at night. She doesn't knock. Doesn't speak. Just watches. How long has this been happening? She shook her head. Started 6 months ago. First time, we thought it was a dream. Second time, I called the police. They found nothing. But we kept seeing her. Different windows. Different rooms. Never the same place twice. I asked her the question I'd been afraid to ask. Has she ever come inside? The woman looked at her front door like it might open on its own. Not yet. Before I left, I asked for the daughter's name. The woman hesitated. Then said, we used to have a daughter. Her name was Harper. She passed in 2019. Girl in the window, she's not her. I stopped. Delivering that night, I tried to quit the app. It wouldn't let me. The deactivate account button kept freezing. I emailed support. Got no reply. Instead, I got a new order. At 3:14, a .m. No name. No restaurant. Just the address. My own. I stared at it for what felt like hours. Then, slow and shaky, I walked to my apartment. Door. Opened it. And sitting on the floor was a sealed delivery bag. Still warm. I stepped outside, just enough to check the hallway. Empty. I looked back down. There was a sticky note on the bag. She's inside now. I left. Didn't grab my phone. Didn't pack anything. Just got in my car and drove until the sun rose. Slept in the lot of a 24-hour gym. When I finally turned my phone back on, there were 3 new photos. All taken from inside my apartment. First, my bedroom. Lights off. Second, my bathroom mirror, fogged up, with something standing behind me. Third, my living room, with the little girl, sitting cross-legged on the floor. Smiling. Only this time, she had a face. It was mine. It started with a sound, a soft thump in the trunk. Right after my 3rd delivery of the night, I just dropped off burgers to a college kid and was walking back to my car when I heard it. Not loud, just wrong. Like something shifting against metal. A slow, heavy bump. I froze halfway into the driver's seat, listening hard. Nothing. I told myself it was the spare tire, maybe the jack. Maybe I hit a bump and didn't notice something shifting. It's an old car. The suspension creaks even when it's parked. But then it happened again, this time while I was driving. Same noise, one thump from the back, and a second later, something new, a voice. Let me out. I laughed out loud. One of those anxious, confused laughs that comes out of your mouth before your brain can stop it. Okay, I muttered to myself, losing it. I pulled over, popped the trunk from inside the car, got out, walked around, lifted the hatch. Empty. Just the tire, jack, and a couple reusable grocery bags. I stood there longer than I needed to, just staring at the contents. It was too quiet. No cars, no wind. Just that kind of silence that has weight. I slammed the trunk shut. Back in the car, I told myself it was stress. Long shifts, too much caffeine, not enough sleep. Maybe a song on the radio glitched. Maybe a neighbor was yelling and I misheard. But an hour later, it happened again. 3 knocks. Slow, deliberate. It's cold in here. I nearly crashed. I pulled into a gas station, parked under the brightest lights I could find. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I climbed into the trunk myself, laid down, closed it behind me. Pitch black, cold metal. The faint smell of rubber and oil. Nothing in there. Nowhere for anyone to hide. I pushed it back open and got out. That's when I noticed it. There were scratches on the inside, tiny ones, near the latch, like fingernails, and below that, something else. 4 words, etched into the metal with what looked like a key. You don't remember me? I stared at it for a long time. Then I slammed the trunk shut and drove home without taking another order. I parked in a well-lit spot and kept checking the mirror the whole way. That night I didn't sleep. Every time I started to drift, I thought I heard movement, not in my apartment, but in the parking lot below. A soft knock. A car door creaking. A voice, low, close. I'm still here. In the morning, the inside of the trunk was clean. No scratches. No message. No sign anyone had ever been there. I knew what I saw. And that voice, it wasn't a dream. I didn't drive the next night. Didn't even go near the parking lot. I walked to work. Walked to the grocery store. Walked past my car like it was a crime scene taped off just for me. I told myself I'd deal with it in the morning. Maybe take it to a mechanic. Let a professional open the trunk and prove to me it was all in my head. But around 1:40 a.m., just as I was finally starting to drift off, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. One new voicemail. No ringing. No missed call. Just the voicemail. Stared at it for a solid minute before pressing play. Static, then breathing. Then a voice, low and close to the mic. You locked me in again. I dropped the phone. Full panic attack. Sweating, shaking. Nothing in my apartment felt safe. I grabbed a hoodie and ran outside. Planning to go anywhere else. A diner, a friend's house. A parking lot with lights and people and noise. But when I reached the lot, my hazard lights were blinking. No one else's, just mine. Blinking slow. Like a heartbeat. I approached the car from the passenger side, keeping distance from the trunk. The blinking stopped. Silence. Then, faintly through the metal, I heard it again. Let me out, please. This time, the voice was younger, softer, sounding scared instead of angry. Almost human. Almost familiar. My legs buckled, and I leaned against the hood, trying to breathe. Who are you? I whispered. Silence. Then, you left me. My mouth went dry. I backed away. No, I muttered. No, I don't know you. I don't. Another knock, soft, right near the latch. Please don't leave me again. I couldn't run anymore. I needed answers. So I unlocked the car, walked around to the back, and stood there with my hand on the trunk handle, shaking uncontrollably. Okay, I said out loud, even though my voice barely worked. Okay, I'm opening it. But if someone jumps out, I swear to God. I pulled. The trunk lifted smoothly. Emptiness. Just the spare tire. Just the tools. Exactly like before, but the air coming out of it felt wrong. Too warm. Like someone had been breathing inside, and on the carpet liner. Fresh scratches, longer this time, not fingernails. Nail marks. As if someone clawed at it with desperation. With force. With panic. I reached in and touched one of the scratches, still warm, still soft at the edges, like it had been carved minutes ago. What do you want? I whispered into the trunk. I don't know why I expected an answer, but I got one. Right behind me. You. I spun so fast I almost fell. No one was there. Just shadows. Just empty parking lot. My car beeped suddenly, locking itself. Then unlocking. Then locking again, like it was breathing. I ran back inside my building, didn't look back. Didn't check the trunk again. I locked myself in my apartment, curled on the couch, and waited for morning. But around 4:13 a.m., my phone buzzed again. A text. No number attached. Just one line. I remember the river. I felt everything in me twist. The river where I almost drowned as a kid, where I slipped, hit my head, went under. Where everything went dark for a minute, where my cousin pulled me out. Except I always thought parts of that memory didn't feel real. Like something else happened. Something I blocked out. My hands trembled so hard, I nearly dropped the phone. How do you know that? I texted back, instant reply. You didn't drown. Another, I did. My heart stopped. No. No. I shoved my hand into my hair, pulling, trying to remember something else. Anything else. I remembered the water. The cold. The weight. My lungs burning. Then. Nothing. Then, waking up on the bank with adults yelling and lights flashing and voices screaming my name. Whose name did I scream back? Did I scream mine? Or someone else's? I texted again. What is your name? The reply came in 2 parts. First, it used to be yours. Second, but you let go. My vision blurred. I dropped the phone, sat there on the floor, shivering. Because suddenly I remembered something. Not clearly, not fully, but enough. A hand, small, grabbed. In mine under the water. Me kicking for the surface. The hand, slipping. Sinking. A second voice screaming. Underwater. Not mine. Theirs. The voice in the trunk. I couldn't stay inside. I had to know the truth. Grabbed my keys and went back outside. The air felt wrong, heavy, thick. My car sat under the yellow streetlight, trunk facing me like an open mouth waiting. I walked up slowly. Tell me, I said. Tell me who you are. A soft knock from inside. Once. Then the trunk latch clicked. On its own. It slowly lifted, inch by inch, revealing nothing. Just darkness. But the darkness felt deep, felt endless, felt like water. Then a whisper rose from inside, bubbling, drowning, gurgling. Pull me out. I leaned closer, heart pounding. My fingers touched the edge of the trunk. The whisper came again, louder, desperate. Please. It's cold. My breath froze. I whispered back, voice cracking. I'm sorry. The trunk slammed shut so hard it shook the entire car. I stumbled away. The car lights flashed. Once. Twice. 3 times. Then the text came. I won't stay in here forever. I moved apartments the next week. Sold the car to a scrapyard without telling them anything. But last night, as I walked home around midnight, a familiar sound followed me. A soft knock. Not on a door. Not on a wall. Knock from inside the trunk of a passing car. Then a voice, drifting out onto the street. You left me again. The GPS said I was almost there. I'd been driving for nearly 40 minutes, longer than I usually go for a single order. But the payout was big and the instructions were specific. Do not contact. Do not ask for directions. Leave the food by the scarecrow. It sounded like a prank. Honestly, I was waiting for some weird LARP situation to kick in. But the customer had prepaid, tipped big, and the app hadn't flagged anything. So I kept going. The map pulled me off the main highway, then onto a narrow, crumbling back road with no streetlights. The kind of road you don't find unless you're looking for it. The air out here smelled like dirt and old metal. Like rain was coming, even though the sky was clear. A few miles in, the GPS buzzed again. Only, there was nothing there. Just an empty field, grass waist high. A barbed wire fence that looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. And a single narrow opening in the wire. I pulled over and got out. The moment I stepped off the gravel, I noticed something strange. Everything was silent. No wind. No crickets. Not even the distant hum of traffic. Just me, the field, and the faint sound of my car engine ticking as it cooled behind me. I followed the narrow path through the grass. A trail was already worn into it, like others had walked it recently. I told myself it was just local farmland, but the deeper I went, the weirder it felt. The air got warmer, heavier, like it was pushing against me instead of letting me walk through it. And then I saw the scarecrow. It stood in the center of the field. Tall, crooked. Its head hung too low. Its arms stretched wide like it was mid-embrace or mid-crucifixion. The clothes were too clean, Too new for something supposedly abandoned. And worst of all, the head turned when I got close, just slightly. Just enough to make me stop moving. The delivery bag felt hot in my hand, sweaty, too heavy for just a sandwich and fries. I stepped forward and dropped the bag by the base of the scarecrow. Just like the instructions said. The second it hit the dirt, I heard something. A click, like a camera shutter. I looked around fast, but no one was there. No cars. No lights. Nothing but field and sky. I turned back toward the scarecrow, and now, the bag was gone. Not kicked over, not spilled. Not there. I spun in place, scanning the grass. My throat locked up. I hadn't looked away for more than a few seconds, and yet, gone. I backed up slowly. Then the scarecrow moved again, its head slowly turning to follow me. I froze. Breath held. The stitched mouth split slightly. Just a crack. And from within the hollow chest, something whispered, "Next time, bring more." I ran, didn't look back. Didn't care if I dropped anything. Didn't stop until I was back at the car with the engine roaring and the GPS screaming, rerouting, on a loop. The map wouldn't load. No signal. No bars, just an endless gray screen. Eventually, I found my way back to the main road. Didn't take another delivery that night. Didn't even check the app until the next morning, when I finally did. The route history was gone. No record of the order. No payment. No customer ID. No tip. But under recent activity, a new message had appeared. "Thanks for feeding him. He wakes up slow. Next time, it'll be dark." I didn't go back. Not right away. After that night in the field, the scarecrow, the disappearing food, the whisper, I uninstalled the app. Wiped it completely. Told myself I was done with deliveries, at least for a while, but it didn't matter. The field didn't forget me. 3 days later, I got a new phone. Fresh number. Clean slate. On the second night, the screen lit up at 2:14 a.m. No ringer. No app, just a calendar reminder I hadn't set. "Your next delivery is ready. Don't be late." I stared at it until the screen dimmed. I didn't go. I turned off the phone and shoved it into a drawer. The next morning, I found a paper bag on my front steps, tightly folded, warm inside. A sandwich, fries, and a receipt. PAID route number 02. The address? Just latitude and longitude. When I plugged the coordinates into Google Maps, it was the same field. That night, I heard scratching at my apartment door. Not pounding. Not knocking. Just scratching. Like twigs dragged across the wood. I looked through the PEEPHOLE. No one there. But when I opened the door, another bag was waiting. This one had a sticky note. "It's darker now. You need to see what you're feeding." I couldn't sleep after that. Not really. Every night I heard something outside. Footsteps that stopped when I looked. Once, I woke up to find the door to my balcony open. Even though I never use it. And then, a few days ago, my car started on its own. Middle of the night. Keys in the bowl by the door. Engine rumbling outside. When I went down to check, the GPS screen was glowing. Same coordinates. Same field. Route #003. So I went. I told myself it was the only way to end it. I packed a flashlight, left the engine running, and brought the bag that had been waiting for me in. The fridge that morning. It was heavier than last. Time, greasy, warm, almost pulsing. The drive felt shorter this time, like the roads had bent toward the field. Like the world wanted me to get there faster. When I pulled off the highway, I didn't even need the map. My hands drove on their own, muscle memory possessed. And when I got to the clearing, it was waiting for me, the scarecrow. Except now, it wasn't just the one. There were 5 of them, arranged in a wide circle, arms out, heads tilted, like they were listening or praying. The one in the center, the one I remembered, had changed. Its arms were lower now, drooping, as if tired, and its head? Gone. Just a scorched stump. I stepped into the circle. The flashlight barely worked. The beam sputtered, then died completely. The grass around the scarecrows was crushed flat, and in the center was a hole circular deep, breathing. Not literally breathing, but the dirt seemed to move slightly, as if the earth was expanding and contracting, with something underneath. The air smelled like salt and rust. Rot. I set the bag down next to the hole. It sank slightly into the dirt, like the ground was hungry. Then, from the hole, a sound, not a voice, not an animal, something like chewing. Wet, slow, labored. Took a step back. The dirt shifted again. Bag was gone. I turned to leave, but one of the scarecrows had moved. Just slightly. Its head now tilted toward me. Another step. A different one leaned in. Their arms, once limp, now subtly reaching. I started walking faster. Then the one closest to me whispered, "You'll be back tomorrow." I didn't answer, didn't run. Not until I reached the car. Once I slammed the door shut, every light in the field behind me flickered on at once. Porch lights, spotlights, flashbulbs. All of them. In a place that didn't have any power lines, the field glowed bright white for 3 full seconds. Then total darkness. I burned rubber. Getting out of there. Don't remember the ride home. But when I got into bed, fully dressed, still shaking, I saw something on my pillow, a receipt, same printed paper as before. But this time, it had a new message. "He knows your name now." Since then, it's gotten worse. Every mirror in my apartment is slightly fogged, even when it's not humid. Every reflective surface shows things behind me, like something tall, distant, watching from the field. One night I heard static coming from inside my closet. My phone rang once at 3:14 a.m., unknown number. No voicemail, just a message a few seconds later, "We're hungry again." Last night, I tried to leave town. Just pack a bag and go. As I hit the highway on-ramp, my tires shredded, all 4. Same time, like something bit down on the road under me. I had to walk back to the nearest gas station. Guess what was sitting by the door when I got there? Another delivery bag, still warm. Same instructions. Feed him again. You're his favorite. One more time. And now tonight. I'm writing this from inside the car. I'm parked at the edge of the field. Haven't gotten out yet. The scarecrows are waiting. There are 7 now, forming a wider circle. And the hole? It's bigger. From here I can see it pulsing, like a throat, like something underneath is almost awake. I don't know what happens if I stop feeding it. I don't know what happens if I keep going. But I do know this. Every time I bring a bag, something in me feels lighter, like I'm giving away pieces of myself one meal at a time. And one day soon, there won't be anything left to feed him but me.